Welcome to the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, joined this week by the OGs, my co-hosts, Moran and Ryan. Boys, how are we?
Hello.
Doing good.
Not bad for the first intro, I must say.
Off the cuff, too. I just came up with that on the fly.
There you go.
Hey, you know who doesn't know how to do intros? The guy that's been here the longest.
I will say, just a critique for Matt there. I thought we changed the name to Honolulu Cheese Podcast.
You know, I'll be honest.
To get your bears in
I
there,
was
did we
saying
not?
that I got pretty nervous and I was going to go full Chicago, but then I was too much Chicago and I just landed on my regular inside 6-inch voice. So I panicked, but, you know, next week will be better.
Hey, it's all good. That was an interesting number to pick there, for sure. But, hey, we're there.
Awesome. You guys are doing well? Week is going well?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Anything interesting happen over the weekend? Anybody do anything fun? Ryan, you went to the Pistons game on Sunday?
I did go to the Pistons game. You know what sucked is we got there, and I think because we were playing the Pelicans that day, and Zion was ruled out that morning, so they found out that Zion was ruled out, and they said, hey, Cade, you can take the day off. And we got there, and it announced Dennis Schroeder on the starting lineups. We all look at each other, and we're like, no!
Shout out Dennis Schroeder. He's been on 70,000 NBA teams.
Yeah,
Literally.
And he's played relatively well on each one of them, I will say. Shout out
The
to
Little
that guy.
Caesars Arena still smell like old cigarettes and cologne. I saw Sebastian Maniscalco there on Saturday. A lot of Italian brethrens in the crowd. So I assume the Acqua di Gio might have still been wafting through the vents.
No, it didn't linger that long. I think they have a pretty good cleaning crew.
Good ventilation there at the LCA. Another job well done by the Illich family.
It just smelled like above average pizza, as is Little Caesar. So there you go.
Love that. Well, boys, kind of a slow time, a rare slow time in the NFL calendar, but we still wanted to get an episode out for the people. So, you know, little bit of free agency news trickled in since last week. Nothing too crazy. The Giants are not paying attention to the old if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks rule, as they have signed both Russ Wilson, Danger Russ, and Jameis Winston. What do we think? Who's starting week one? Who we doing full competition here? What do we think, boys?
I just want to fix who the Giants signed because the Giants signed Mr. Unlimited.
Oh, unlimited.
You nailed it.
What the hell are the Giants doing? It's the real question.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I think they're just going for whatever's, like, they're throwing whatever's at the wall and seeing what sticks, right?
Yeah, it seems like the old trying to save your job. Brian Daboll's like, you know, if I can put Russ Wilson's brain into Jameis's body before the season starts, I might be able to get an extension. So, worth a shot, I guess.
You know what it makes me think of is last year how the Steelers went into the year with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, right? And everybody's like, damn, poor Steelers, man. They got it rough. This is so much worse than that because I'd rather have Justin Fields right now than either of these guys. And for me, it's like, I think Russ starts the year just because of his pedigree and his history with winning, as he did in Pittsburgh eventually. But I think he's going to struggle or get hurt. And then comes Jameis to put up 30 touchdowns, 40 picks, and 6,000 yards.
The most important question to me, Moran, how many targets does Malik Neighbors have in a Jameis Winston-led offense? Over, under 7,000.
I'm going to take the over. But on the flip side, how many targets does he have with Russell Wilson? Probably 2 a game.
Yeah. I saw a great tweet, and I apologize. I don't remember who tweeted it, so no credit. But it was now that we know that the Giants are going to have to draft Travis Hunter because someone is going to have to make tackles on these Jameis Winston picks. So makes a lot of sense. We know Travis can tackle. But yeah, the couple things I thought about, I just, you know, the Giants it's a bad spot to be, man. The Bears have been there just trying to do something. Doesn't look like that at this point they would also draft Shedeur. Although if they did, it'd be kind of fun. Shedeur in training camp with Russ on one shoulder being like, no, just check it down. And then Jameis on the other shoulder. No, man, just let it rip. Let it go. Just slang it. So that could be fun, but it seems like we can probably pencil in Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter to the Giants at this point. But we shall see. Maybe a trade down is in the cards.
I don't know, man. I know we're not at our draft show yet, but my hot take is they still take Shedeur Sanders and just let him sit for a year. This is a 1-year deal for Russ, as far as I know, right?
Yeah,
and for
1
Jameis
year,
as well.
$10 million, I think. So
Yeah,
maybe you
I
can
mean,
start money.
Hey, Shedeur, just sit back, learn who's doing what right and who's doing this wrong, and we'll get you going next year.
I think what you were talking about, the Russ and Jameis on the shoulder, I think that's why they signed Russ, is to make sure Jameis isn't the only one in Shedeur's ear.
Poor Shedeur sitting there trying to like absorb information, just like with the wildest cast of characters in the quarterback room ever. And meanwhile, Tommy DeVito from the practice squad just bringing all sorts of fettuccinis and lasagnas in for the people. They'll be eating well in New York, if nothing else. Other
in
piece
this
of
case,
news
though, no, I'm just going to ask, in this case, who's the angel and who's the devil on the shoulder? Are they just both Satan?
No, Satan's Jameis Winston because of the turnovers.
That's what I was thinking.
And then
But
Russell
Russ is so cringe, too, though. Jameis is so much cooler.
Yeah,
and they
but
are both big God guys. Shout out to God or Jesus or whoever, you know. So
Shout out to our Lord and Savior.
yeah, big ups to the man
Not
upstairs
mine,
or
man.
woman. And then the other bit of news I saw, Stephon Diggs getting some new digs, if you will, in the Northeast. Stephon Diggs headed to New England. 3 years, $70 million is the sticker price. Looking like probably like a 1 year, $25-ish million deal. What do we think about this fit, boys?
I think this is the pure case of a guy who got paid for what he's done and not for what he's going to do. I think he will be okay, but is he worth 3 years, 70 mil, 26 guaranteed? To me, no, but I also have wide receivers on my team, and the Patriots are just that desperate. So, I mean, go get him, I guess. He's got to be better than Demario Douglas and Jalen Polk, but I don't know if he's going to get your 100 catches for 1,400 yards anymore with 10 touchdowns. It's just not going to happen.
Miro, what are we thinking? Diggs to New England. Like the move?
no, like it's a young quarterback, and Diggs is probably not the most locker room friendly guy. Can't wait till the game happens where Demario Douglas goes for like 10 and 120 and Diggs has 2 catches. And then Diggs is going to be like, I never actually wanted to be here. My wife
Keep
told
in
me
mind,
to
though,
sign here.
this is year one Stephon Diggs, who traditionally, year one Stephon Diggs, model teammate, loves to be
That's
there.
true.
It's usually year two that he becomes a little diva-ish. But I kind of like, I mean, the Patriots have no pass catchers. They're picking fourth. It's a weak draft class for wide receivers, according to people who, know things about wide receivers. Even if it was a strong one, the Patriots' track record the last few years doesn't really lend any credence to them being able to evaluate and make a wide receiver pick. So, you kind of know what you're getting with Diggs. It's probably an overpay. You've got a lot of money you've got to spend. What's the worst that can happen? You've got a young quarterback who looked pretty promising. Get him a dude who we know is a good route runner, should probably be healthy. I think he got hurt about halfway through last year, probably week 7 or 8. So hopefully be ready for training camp, ready for week 1. Seems like an albeit expensive but low risk gamble for a team desperately trying to surround their young quarterback with somebody who can make some plays.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Yeah, he tore his ACL in week 8, and reports are saying he's ahead of schedule in his recovery. But
Has anybody ever not been ahead of schedule?
I know.
Literally.
I was literally just gonna say, did we not hear that about Kirk Cousins and A-Rod last year? And then look at the years that they had. So,
A-Rod played well.
yeah, sure he did. Ask
You think
any
he's
New
also
York
in the
Jets
best
fan if
shape
he
of
played
his
well.
life? That could really make a difference.
Oh yeah, the old Miguel Cabrera storyline of the summer. I love that one. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like that money to an aging receiver who's hopped around, who has been a diva in the past, and who's coming off a torn ACL. But it's a move that the Patriots, to your point, Matt, have to make because they have nobody else. Like, you need a guy, and he is a guy. So
Yeah. Had to be somebody. I thought they made sense as like a Cooper Cup team on the cheap,
Yeah.
same kind of archetype of receiver, like different player obviously, but good route runner, dude who's not like a burner. Age I'm sure won't be super kind to his speed, but guy who, smart player, gets open, catches the ball. That should help a young quarterback, so fingers crossed.
well said.
All right, boys. So that is all that we've got as far as news goes. Pretty slow week for the NFL. But I did see a couple things I wanted to get your thoughts on. A couple rule changes were proposed at the owners' meeting. One actually by each of your teams. So wanted to see what you thought, if you were in favor of the ban, see what you thought. First off, and then just to give our listeners a little bit of context, teams can propose rules at the NFL owners meeting. All 32 teams will then vote on the proposal. I'm not exactly sure when that happens. I don't know. I assume it happens at the meetings, and maybe this happened before. Probably should have researched that more, but I did not. But I do know that it takes 24 of 30 teams to vote in favor of a proposed rule change for it to pass. So what would that be? 75% of the league.
Does that even make sense? Why is it so much?
I mean, three-fourths, right? I think the votes happen at the wine and cheese parties that they have monthly while they're laughing like the billionaires they are, just counting their money.
Yeah, it's on a yacht somewhere. I kind of get it because, you definitely want to go majority, but, if you're split, it's 24-32 teams makes it all right, this is, something we should probably look into. So, yeah, kind of a weird spot to land, but the NFL is just printing money, so they're probably a smidge smarter than we are. First rule change that I saw, Moran, the Packers are looking to ban the tush push, the brotherly shove. What say you?
I don't agree with it. All I would want changed is when you're going to do the tush push, you should have to declare it before the play. That's all I want changed.
Bro.
Can we ask why? Why do you think that makes it better than it is currently?
Because when you declare it and you have to call the play, you can run every single defensive lineman on the field. You don't have to worry about corners. It makes it more fair because you obviously have an advantage. That's why it works so well. So I would just like the declaration of same thing as how you have to declare that it's a 2-point conversion.
Bro, I'm going to counter real quick. Teams already know when it's coming.
No, they don't.
All of America knows when it's coming. When the Eagles are when the Eagles are on the 1, everyone who knows or has watched any football this year or in the past 3 years knows what's coming, and they still can't stop it.
What if they're on the 50 and they run a play action?
They do it. They do it all the time, all over the field. It doesn't even matter.
It should just
I
be
was just
declared.
going to ask, have they ever faked one that you guys can remember?
Against us, but we stopped them in the playoffs.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
You don't
I don't
need to
watch a lot of
declare it, bro.
playoff
That's such like a
football.
lame baseball rule fix that just happened.
That, Matt. You hear him?
No, what'd he say?
He said, "I don't watch playoff football."
Sounds fun, though.
That
I hope
sounded
to
so
watch it this
sad.
year.
Oh,
Ryan,
Okay.
so it sounds like you are not in favor of banning the tush push.
bro, I will never be in favor of a team who's doing something so well being stopped from doing that thing so well because they cannot be stopped.
Okay,
Like
so
it's up. Hang on. Let me finish my point.
Okay.
It's up to the rest of the NFL to figure out, play wise and strategy wise, how do we stop this from happening? We have a center just like they do. We have quarterbacks. We have defensive tackles. Why can't we stop this thing that we know is coming? And if you can't, that's too damn bad. What, like when Brady and Randy Moss hooked up for 50 touchdowns, are we gonna say like ban the go route? Like
completely
it's so
different.
ridiculous to me.
Completely different.
It's not. It's really not. It's not an unfair play. It's in the rule
It
book.
is.
It always has been.
I think the interesting argument, kind of to Ryan's point about the Eagles executing it so well, is not we, but you guys and Jose came on after the Bills lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. And I mean, the Bills tried running a version of the tush push that just Josh Allen, huge dude, like they just didn't execute it. There was, off the top of my head, 3 or 4 times in that game they had a 4th and 1 or a 4th and inches or a 3rd and inches, and they weren't able to execute it. The Eagles are just amazing at executing it.
And keep in mind, going into last year, Jason Kelsey retired. And the whole headline across the country was, oh, great, now the tush push is no more. They lost their best center in the league, blah, blah, blah. Ryan Jurgens, I believe his name is, the center for them, came in and did it. Oh, thank you, Cam Jurgens. Came in and did the same exact thing. So it's either Jalen Hurts is that good or Mike Sirianni is that good at calling it, or it's a play execution type thing. Whatever it may be,
So
stop it.
if they're so good at it, why not declare it? What's it matter? You know it's coming, right? What's it matter?
Because why
What's it matter?
why
I
even have to do that?
No, just answer the question.
Like,
Why does it matter?
But why stack the box against Philly for something they do so well? Like it's not fair to Philly to have to even do that.
It's not fair for a team to have to guess that you're doing it, and then you get called for offsides if you jump. Like
Defenses have to guess what's coming on every other play
I get it,
in
but
an
it's not-
NFL game.
It's not the same. It's
So
not the same.
I would
to
argue
me.
that it's more predictable than any other play in the game because you know it's coming as a fan. So no, I think declaring it is silly, and I think banning it is silly, in my opinion.
I remember even the Eagles are the Eagles are different with the dudes they have on the line. They ran the tush push like with an injured Kenny Pickett in week 2 of the fantasy playoffs because Jalen Hurts got hurt. So it would have been week 15. I had Jalen Hurts. I'm not salty about it, not mad, but it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about my fantasy team. But they ran the goddamn tush push with Kenny Pickett on like a bum knee, and they still executed it.
Okay.
They got friggin' Saquon Barkley. Like, give this guy the
When-
ball. But no, they're a wagon.
But isn't that the definition of forward progress? When does it stop with the tush push? Because I've seen it go for 5 seconds. Like, does that not matter?
When you tackle them,
That's not how that works. In every other play, if a guy is halted, the play is dead. And with the tush push, if Jalen Hurts is halted, he gets to go to the right, he gets to go to the left. Maybe
Well,
he'll go up the center.
I'm gonna be
Like,
honest. He's not halted many times.
Yes, he is.
I've rarely seen him be stopped for more than like a second, which is usually they'll give it like a second or two before they
no,
blow the
don't.
whistle.
They blow it right away. From
No,
what
that's
I've
not
seen.
true.
Well,
No,
I
and,
think
and
the-
it's hard to not have forward progress when a guy's literally pushing you from your tush.
correct. That's
Like,
why it should be illegal.
But no other team could do it.
You
so
wanna
why
do-
should it be illegal?
You want to do the tush push? How about let's eliminate the push and just do the sneak? That's what's
Well-
annoying.
Well, that's like the whole thing, right? Like that's a totally different play in entirety.
Well,
Bro, I've literally watched every other team, to Matt's point back that he made. Every other team has tried to do it. Josh Allen is bigger than Jalen Hurts, size-wise, right? Like, I don't know about
Yeah.
muscle, but
Well, that's
size-wise he
because
is. And if he
that-
can't get it, then the Eagles are just doing something right, and they're smarter than everybody.
well,
so give
that's
them their
because
credit.
McDermott was probably in like an Al Qaeda meeting or something, and he didn't actually,
Maybe, all right.
Allegedly. We don't,
Yeah, allegedly, yeah.
we don't have any proof of this.
Yeah, that's
All
one way
right,
to motivate
so
your
the
guys.
tush push, we all think that it's borderline unstoppable. Moran, not really in favor of banning it. Maybe we have to declare it. I'm on Ryan's side. You want to stop it? Go ahead and stop it.
That's right.
All right. The other rule change, the Detroit Lions are proposing that for illegal contact, no longer would it be an automatic first down. So an example would be it's 3rd and 17. There is not a pass interference, but an illegal contact call against the defense. And it's a 5-yard penalty. So instead of being 1st and 10, 5 yards from where the ball was snapped, it would be 3rd and 12. I've also seen this proposed as the Terrion Arnold rule.
Correct.
Ryan, what are your thoughts on this?
All right, before I start, Mito has to let me finish my point before he responds. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Because I see him, he's literally saying bon appetit right now and ready to go for it.
That's how you already know Ryan's cooked. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I'm not cooked. I'm not cooked. My corners are getting cooked, but not me. All right, so here's the thing. And this was, I felt this way before the proposal even came out, okay? And I'm not surprised it did, first of all, because the Lions are such a man-heavy coverage team, and they are handsy just based on that. So they're going to want this rule passed, obviously, okay? And yes, Terrion Arnold did have a lot of these penalties last year, okay? So that's me meeting you halfway. But I've always thought it's crazy how you can have 3rd and 15, and a quarterback launches the ball 40 yards downfield, underthrows it on purpose so that his receiver has to stop and get run into by a defensive back, and then that's an automatic first down with like 40 yards gained. That has always driven me nuts because it's such a bailout. I'm not a fan of bailing teams out based on some loophole that you found in the rules. Okay? So I'll just say that.
So that, Ryan, sorry to interrupt you, that is more of a pass interference than an illegal contact. So pass interference being a spot foul, illegal contact is not a spot foul. It's a this many yards, but you get a first down regardless.
So even with the illegal contact, so yeah, you take the yards out of it, and that absolutely makes it better. But I also don't think it should be an automatic first down. Like, I think that is such a game changer. And I don't have the examples off the top of my head, but I know that there's been playoff games that have been decided on this. And I hate it because it's not the play, it's the whistle, right? Like, I hate when refs have that much to dictate over the game based on a snap call that could go either way and we don't know, and then we have to review it. Like, it's just, like if you contact a guy illegally within 8 yards and it's a 3rd and 15, then just make it 3rd and 7 and go again, right? Like, what are we doing?
What do you think, Moran? Spot fouls, or not spot fouls, first down automatically, or yardage, if it gets you a first down, it gets you one. We don't automatically go first down.
You guys aren't going to like my answer, but I like both. I would say on 1st and 2nd down, let's do the yardage. And if it's on 3rd down, it should be an automatic first. And I'm going to steal Ryan's words that he just kept saying. Why don't you just stop them, Ryan? Why do you got to hold?
I knew that was coming, see?
Yeah. Well, hey, like, you got to think before you speak sometimes, you know?
Well, it's different, though, because the Eagles are doing the tush push, the tush push based on their ability to, like, dominate the line, okay?
Okay.
What I'm talking about with underthrowing a ball and having the receiver come back for it is just so fucking lame. Like, that's all it is. It has nothing to do with you out playing somebody. It's just, like, stupid to me. So that's the difference that I'll throw out there.
Okay, well, do you guys like the idea of automatic first on 3rd down and yards on 1st and 2nd, or is that doing too much?
I think that's doing too much.
I think you got to be consistent. I think you got to make it the rule. I don't think we can really adjust based on the down. I think that would be tough to police, tough to keep track of. I'm probably, I'll be honest, I fall like somewhere in the middle. I'm kind of wishy-washy on this one. If they change it, I think that makes sense because, why should you get a first down when you needed 9 on a 5-yard penalty? I'm more passionate about pass interference in the NFL being a 15-yard penalty as opposed to a spot foul. I don't really think you should get like 57 yards on a pass interference, but then like defensive back falls down. Why wouldn't you grab and try to tackle the receiver, which you may do anyway, but I don't know. I'm kind of wishy-washy on that one. Gun to my head, I would probably say leave it as it is, make it a first down if that's what we're going to stick with. So
I do think just one more thing. I speak for most NFL fans when I just say, let the guys play, man. Please. Like, can we just let them play? I hate watching games where it's flag after flag after flag either way. Like, especially in the playoffs. It drives me nuts.
You can tell Ryan watches Terry and Arnold. He's hurt.
I'm just saying, bro.
He's very, very hurt by all these flags.
I'm just saying. He'll be better next year.
Nobody likes a ref show.
As far as the pass interference, I absolutely love the spot foul. I think it's so silly that a player gets beat 50 yards and you just want to give him 15 after he tackles a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's
the
other extreme of it.
I see that argument for sure.
Yeah, that's the other extreme, and that's why it's such a hard rule to figure out. I think, like, I don't envy the NFL on that decision, but it's definitely exploited and manipulated.
We will have to report back once these are voted on, or if they already were, when we find out that they were voted on.
Before we move on, which of the three that we talked about do you guys think will actually get passed?
I don't think any of them do. I mean, if
I
think the PI, like the college version of having 15 yards versus a spot foul, has the best chance, but I don't even know if that gets passed.
That wasn't actually proposed. That I just threw on our agenda as like a, what do you guys think about this? So that wasn't an actual rule that was proposed. So
let me just jump right ahead. I love the college 15 yards automatically. Like it's set, it's ingrained, that's it.
I think that the illegal contact probably has the best chance of passing because, like, that makes sense. Give them 5 yards. If it's not a first down, it's not a first down. Banning the tush push, that sounds like loser shit. Come on, Moran. Tell the Packers to get some bigger deep tackles.
I didn't say ban it.
Do better.
Just declare it.
You're the Packers fan here. We're blaming you. Thank you for your support and joining this week as always. All right, boys. Another thing we all discussed a little bit in the chat today. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, not a sponsor. # no free ads, but FanDuel, hit us up if you are interested in sponsoring the show. We all love the platform. Or DraftKings, we love the platform too. Caesars, MGM, we'd love to have all of you guys.
Hey, listen, you can't just offer 4 different companies who are competing with each other, guy. It doesn't work that way.
I mean, I probably kept FanDuel open, so FanDuel, you owe me one.
There you go. Maybe Moran can get a credit back for some of his Packers futures. Speaking of futures, our way too early NFC power rankings. These don't mean much, but figured it might be fun to discuss. We'll just kind of skim through the top here. They've got the Eagles at 1, pretty self-explanatory. The Commanders at 2.
Crazy.
Seems a little aggressive to me, but they did have a heck of a year. The Lions at 3, which feels about right. The Rams at 4, which, you know, a lot of people drinking the Rams Kool-Aid. Devontae Adams, Stafford's back, McVay, so I could see that. Number 5, I gotta admit, was quite a surprise. Number 5 is the Chicago Bears. Which,
let's go.
How could that go wrong? Number 6 is
Where have
the
we
Packers.
seen this before?
The top of the conference ends out with the 49ers at 7 and the Buccaneers at 8. Obviously, to me, the two glaring things for our NFC Northness, the Vikings checked in at 10 behind the Seahawks.
Crazy.
So shout out to the Vikings.
Well, that makes sense.
It does not, bro.
They have a rookie quarterback, basically. It makes sense.
I'd probably go Vikings over Seahawks.
Same.
I
I'd go
mean-
Vikings over 49ers, if you ask me.
I
But that's
probably
just
can't
me.
get there yet.
I don't
But-
know, man. I think the 49ers are cooked, but that's just me.
Yeah, but when you guys saw those, what kind of stood out, Moran? Other than the obvious, which we can talk
That's
about.
all I
right
want to
now.
talk about.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
stood
wanna
out,
talk about
Vito?
anything else.
What
What?
was your first impression when you saw the power rankings?
Did Matt create these? What? I don't understand the love every year. I really don't. Like, I don't know who runs these pages. I don't know if they like Chicago pizza. It's overrated. I don't know.
It is overrated.
I don't know what it is.
People do tend to get excited about the Bears in the offseason, admittedly.
I mean, 13-time offseason champs.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong?
It's not even a joke at this point.
No. But yeah, that was what stuck out to me. Obviously, the Bears being ahead of the Packers, ahead of the Niners, ahead of the Bucks. We'll just stop there. Seems pretty optimistic. Certainly excited for the moves the Bears have made, but let's win some games on the field before we're sliding them over some proven division-winning teams.
I mean, love
Bears over Packers. Let's be honest.
He's fumbling. He doesn't even know how to act.
Yeah,
Is this going to be a weekly thing? You throwing your microphone at us?
that could be mine. That could be a new segment.
That's right.
Throwing out these FanDuel rankings with my microphone because they are a little aggressive on the Bears. What about Ryan? Commander, you got no issue with Eagles over Lions, I'd imagine.
No, they earned it.
What about Commanders over Lions?
Yeah, tell me you have a problem with that. Go
Of
ahead.
course I have a problem with this.
Oh, my God.
Of course. Listen.
They whooped you.
Bro, listen. By the way, on our YouTube, we had our prediction show with the Lions and Commanders, and Mito's guaranteeing the Lions win, and me and Jose are like, we agree
worked,
with you,
Matt.
but I don't think it's going to be
It
dominant,
worked.
whatever. I'm still going back and forth in the comments with Washington fans. Shout out to those people, by the way. They're really cool, actually, who are just giving us so much shit because, we underestimated them. And I'm not here to do that. I said in that episode before that the spread of 9 going into that game was ridiculous because they have a great quarterback, and I don't care if he's young. I don't care if the team is young. Okay? Having said all of that shit that just came out of my mouth, having them above us in the rankings when we won 15 games without a defense is ludicrous. Yeah. See you later. Walk away. Deuces.
Great plug for our YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube at Honolulu Cheese Podcast. So
Yes.
lots of exclusive content dropping there. So make sure you give us a subscribe, maybe an unsubscribe, or resubscribe. That always helps. So at Honolulu Cheese Podcast on YouTube.
There you go. Bro, 21 guys on AR. If they are better than us this year and we stay relatively healthy, and I mean relatively meaning it's not a haunted house like it was last year, then I will say, yeah, those rankings are warranted. But yeah, whatever, bro. It's a ranking. Take it. You beat us. Have fun with it. I just don't think they're the better team. Not by a long shot.
Are you
All
done?
right.
Yeah,
we don't
I'm
want to
done. Go
spend
ahead.
too much time on the power rankings that maybe
Let's wrap up. There we go. Last word for me.
don't have a ton of sense, but always nice to see.
Mito doesn't get their spot.
I have to say something. I have to. I'm sorry. What are you talking about?
What am I talking about?
They beat you guys.
If we want to play this game, the Bears beat the Packers last year as well, so their ranking is definitely warranted.
Not
Facts, Moran.
That's
1-0 in the last one.
Thank you.
All right, man. You guys can move on. I'm
See?
gonna create a YouTube video about this because you got me real heated right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Before we move off, I'm going to give you guys the bottom 4 teams. If one of these teams were to make, call it the divisional round next year, Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Giants. Who's got the best chance of being the Commanders of last year out of that group? Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Giants.
Man, I want to say the Panthers because I really like Bryce Young and I root for him. I've talked about that a lot on the show. I think we all have, actually. I just don't know if they have, the talent, they have really nice players in some spots. Like Chuba had a great year, for example, but I don't know, man. I think on talent-wise, for me, it's got to be Atlanta. If Penix
Ron,
rolls,
what do you
if
think?
Penix, he gets himself right and comes out hot.
Gonna be out for the first couple months, right? If I'm not mistaken. Didn't he tear his ACL? Or am I losing my mind? Chuba?
No, Jonathan Brooks tore his ACL.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
the second
okay,
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
I still like the Panthers. I think Atlanta's going to be a shit show. I don't know why they're keeping Cousins. They may not. And I'll tell you guys this, not to play both sides, but if the Falcons get rid of Cousins, I like the Falcons, but as long as he's on that team, and I think it's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
If Cousins is there, I think it's going to be the Panthers. If Cousins gets traded, I think Atlanta will be fine.
Probably
about
the
you, Matt?
Falcons for me. Just seems like they've got more infrastructure in place. Penix takes a step. They've got Drake London. They've got Bijan. Kyle Pitts. God, he's the worst. But still, talented dude. So, yeah, I guess I would lean Falcons. Young quarterback. Maybe they take a step on offense. So, we'll see. We'll have to revisit.
Well, and keep in mind,
and
Bijan's
then-
entering just that prime running back territory where I feel like he's just going to explode. And
About to have that LT season.
yeah, like he's going to go crazy. Him and Gibbs, I think, are just going to be near the top. Obvious statement is obvious, but I just love that the Cowboys are at 11. I'm just going to throw that out there. It makes me happy. It makes me smile on the inside and the outside.
Also,
Be
the
that high.
Cowboys could win 12 games next year, and I don't think it would be all that surprising.
I wouldn't
You
be
think so?
shocked, but man, no, they still have talent, bro. Like, I mean, you got Micah, you got CD. If Dak gets himself right, I don't know. Just need a running back, man.
I mean, and there's a lot in this draft, so I'm sure if there's one to be had, the Cowboys will be in the market.
Hey, if they get Genty, watch out.
That's
That would be a
right.
nice little
You never
offense.
know. Dynamic. And then the last thing we had for today, boys, kind of a fun activity. We titled it Fun with NFC North Rosters. So we wanted to play a little game where we each we're going to look at this both for this coming season and all time. So we can start with all time. Basically, you are just putting a player from the other person's two teams. So Moran will do a Lion and a Bear, for example. All time on to the Packers, and then a current player for this coming season. So let's start historically. This is more of a probably just like who's your favorite player from your rival team's activity. But Moran, your all-time Lion and Bear pick for the Packers roster.
All time for the Bears is easy for me. You guys are probably going to think I'm going to say this guy, but I'm not. It's Peanut Tillman. I love Peanut Tillman. And I hated every time that he punched the goddamn ball out because, man, he was so damn good at it.
Baller.
Yes, loved Peanut Tillman. Current Bear, you guys don't have much to offer, but I will take who I wanted in free agency because technically he hasn't played for you, so it's kind of a cop-out. Dio.
Dio Odengbo to the Packers. And then what about your Lions picks, Moran? Or actually,
what
let's
about
do
those?
it in order. Ryan, let's get your Bears
Oh,
picks.
he blue balled me. All right. All right, my Packers.
Your
my
Bears
Bears.
pick. So we'll go
My
in order
Bears,
of
sorry.
teams.
All time, I had Peanut Tillman written down as well because a cornerback who forces fumbles on our current roster would be lovely. But I'm a sucker for a great linebacker. It's got to be Brian Urlacher. Like, we can't have this segment and not talk about Brian Urlacher. And I know that, like, Dick Butkus and, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? The old San Fran coach. Help me out.
Mike Singletary.
Mike Singletary, thank you, could arguably be put above Brian Urlacher, but I watched Brian Urlacher. I watched him destroy my sad O-line and sad running backs for years, so he would be my pick. Always had respect.
Awesome. And then
Currently, and Matt had to help me out with this before we went on air, because I was like, man, like, who would I want from the Bears? But it's got to be Jalen
we
Johnson.
got some guys, bro. Stop
I
it.
know you do. I know, and I'm not trying to pile on and hate because you look up and down the roster and there are some names now for sure. But Jalen Johnson, hey, 2-time Pro Bowler, right? Going on 3 next year. High at the top when it comes to PFF rankings. I mean, we need a corner, bro. Come on over.
Very solid number one corner.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I guess I will start with I didn't really think about going in order here, so YOLO.
Well, we'll start with the Packers and we can just go back and forth.
Love that. My all-time Packer, it kind of works out for me. For my all-time players, it's my favorite all-time non-Bear and my most hated all-time player, Bears or otherwise. So, I mean, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. It's a no-brainer. He's a friggin' monster. He ripped my heart out for 20 years straight. Just
owner.
destroyed the Bears repeatedly. So, give me A-Rod in blue and orange. Maybe we could get him to more than one Super Bowl.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Of course.
How did it feel watching that game, watching him scramble for that touchdown a few years ago and saying, I still own you on the hot mic as a Bears fan?
You know, it wasn't my favorite. It felt kind of hurtful that he would say that, but
I texted Matt right after that too. I remember.
I think
If
he was
you-
saying
if
it
you
to Matt,
fact-checked
actually.
it,
I think he was
Not
looking at
a-
Matt in the crowd.
yeah, not a lot of lies were told, so it's tough to be mad at him. And then for current Packers, I'm thinking somebody on the D line. I love like a Kenny Clark. Just eating up space, put him in the middle, get him rushing the passer. Guy's a stud. Also love me some Edgerrin Cooper, but I do think the Bears have pretty good backers, so I think Kenny Clark would be more of an impact player. And then my all-time pick for the Lions would be Barry Sanders because he's one of the best running backs that ever lived. And
The best.
any Barry Sanders highlight video that you watch has just Bears face masks in the dirt. So picking a running back, maybe not the most analytical pick, but I friggin' love Barry Sanders, and he's the man. Current was tough. I thought about Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra for the Ben Johnson offense, but give me Penei Sewell. Gonna walk in to the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. He's just a frickin' mauler. On the line with our new additions, put Penei at left tackle, keep Braxton Jones at the right tackle with the additions we made. Probably looking at the best line in football. So find a running back, find your Amon-Ra, put Penei on the Bears. So those are my all-time picks. And then Moran, we need your Lions picks.
Yeah, Moran.
So
we
all
do.
time, this is gonna upset Ryan. He probably doesn't even remember this guy played for the Lions.
Stop.
Brian Calhoun,
Brian
Former-
Calhoun.
Wisconsin Badgers running back. He was one of my favorite players to watch. He had 50 more yards rushing than me in the NFL, but I like that guy, so
What
that's
the
my
hell
guy.
did Moran just say? Are you kidding us right now?
I'm
Make
not
a real
familiar with
pick,
Brian
damn you.
Calhoun's work.
Brian
There wasn't
Calhoun.
much. No, but it's not Brian Calhoun. I just wanted to see your guys' face. That's what I got. So, all time would be, honestly, we've had kicking problems, bro. I like Jason Hansen. Just do. I really do. I know that's gonna upset Ryan, but I'm not like. That's my guy.
God.
I liked him.
Bro, you
But-
could have. Hang on. Matt chose
Hey,
Barry
are these
Sanders.
my picks or your picks?
All right, go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Well, how about Calvin Johnson, bro? With
Why?
your Jalen Reeds and your Dontavian Wickses.
I don't like people that quit on me at work. Why would I like Kelvin Johnson? I'm
All
good.
right, bro. Continue.
They already got the best receiving core. I don't even know if they could get Calvin on
Correct.
the field.
He would probably
That's
wouldn't
true.
even fit on a
Practice
roster.
squad at best.
And then currently, I'll go with Penei Sewell.
Wow.
Stud.
You can't. He's a 15-year lineman. I mean, you don't find those anywhere. You
Well, the
can
best
find
thing
a
about
ju-
Panay, by the way, sorry to cut you off, but real quick, he's just such a damn leader. Like, his pregame speeches, never creates drama for anyone, intense, just like, he's the best, man.
Not to hate on your Penei Sewell take there, Ryan, but the best part about Penei Sewell is that he blocks out the fucking sun. And he's an absolute monster.
That is the best part. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned, like, where he is from a leadership standpoint. Like, that guy is the fucking man. He's my favorite by far.
He
can.
is a stud.
His-
All right, Ryan, take us home with your Packers picks.
All right. As much as it pains me to say, Packers all time, and I'm not choosing A-Rod, has to be Reggie White, the Minister of Defense himself. We gave him a shout out last week, 2 weeks in a row. I mean,
Reggie.
best defensive player of all time, maybe? Like,
No, maybe about it.
right? Like, it's just there's not much more to say. That one needs an explanation. My current Packer is Jalen Reed. No, I'm kidding. Of course it's not. It is Rashawn Gary. And I know that might surprise you because I know Moran loves Edgerrin Cooper so much, and he would definitely be a great second choice. But I think Rashawn Gary has that raw talent that's still untapped. And I think if you put him opposite of Hutch, you will see that potential get tapped, if that's the right word. Like, you'll get the most out of him. And I think that's exactly the kind of player we would love to have right now. So, might not be the most popular pick, but that's the one I'm taking.
Look at us, building in the trenches. Just
I know.
following the mold of NFL free agency. Proud of you
But
guys.
is that not so NFC North, though? Like, we're kind of seeing it. Like, we just saw it with Philly, right? Like, Philly
This is
just proved to the
blue-collar
world how
football,
important that
pal.
is. Right.
Can I?
This is-
Because you. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, buddy.
I was just gonna say, since you talked about Reggie White, I am a dad now. I love quotes, so this is on my mouse pad at work. But Reggie White's greatest quote is, "God places the heaviest burden on those who can carry its weight." That's all I wanted to say.
Reggie White, monster. And we'll start just the way we ended, with a shout out to the big guy upstairs.
I have a quote from Jason Hansen as well. Great pick, by the way, Barad.
Thank you.
But he said, "My faith grew because of my success in sports." So this is just a very religious episode of the Honolulu Cheese Podcast, and I don't know why. But shout out to Mito for picking Jason Hansen, bro. That is an all-timer.
I met him at beat-ups, too.
Oh, did you?
Stud.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Absolute stud.
I said hi.
All
and he
right,
kicked
Ryan,
me
you
to
want
the
to take
curb.
us home, brother? Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week. Wanted to keep this episode a little bit short, slow time in the year, but definitely wanted to get on, talk some ball, and we look forward to everybody tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, as always. Matt mentioned the YouTube earlier, but go subscribe to that if you haven't already. Maybe you can see Mito trash my Lions and Commanders take later this week.
Can't wait.
'Cause I know he's got so much more to say about it. But, also follow us on X and TikTok and Instagram and all that crap. It's free. Just go do it. It's awesome. But anything else, Mito, before we go?
I'll save it.
All right. And as always, may your Kool-Aid stay blue and your head stay cheesy and bear down.
The
from that.
Bears.
There you go. Peace out, everyone.
See ya.